Welcome to the latest edition of Cambridge Coffee Corner. I'm Duncan, and on this edition, with a little to go to the Super Bowl of retail, the NRF Big Show, I'm joined by three esteemed colleagues, Ken Belanger and Joe Romain. You've already met on previous episodes of Cambridge Coffee Corner, but joining us on her debut of Cambridge Coffee Corner is Sue Olsen, a Director of Consulting for Cambridge. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Okay, so we're going to jump right in. First of all, if you're planning to go to NRF in January 2026, Cambridge Retail Advisors would love to meet you. You'll see a QR code appearing on the screen, and give it a scan, and that will take you to be able to schedule an appointment with us. We're on booth 5320 on the top floor, and we'll love to spend some time with you. So we'll state the obvious. Why NRF matters? Why is it so important? So Sue, we'll come to you first. From your perspective, what makes it so important?
Well, I think what's important for the retailers is they can see the future. They can see what's coming, what's going to be impactful for 2026, but even beyond that, they can look at innovations, technology, they can connect with their peers. So there's a whole host of things that come out of this. They can see new and emerging technology as well. And I think that's what makes it, just a great use of time, because they can look and see, okay, here's what's coming. Let's be ready for it.
Joe, I'll come to you next. What makes NRF so important for you?
I think it's just, it's all the energy, but also new technology, seeing what's out there, be able to see the up and coming, but also what's trending, but also seeing, old topics that we heard from years and years on actually coming to light, stuff like RFID, things of that nature. So that's always exciting to see at the show.
Absolutely. Ken?
Yeah, I think a lot of times retailers will come in to talk to their existing vendors, but they'll also come in and talk with projects that they know in the next 3, 6, 12 months, they want to start to figure out what you're going to talk about. The solutions, the capabilities, the deployments, all of those things. So they're very meticulous in their thought process, and they're also looking in the future. Mm-hmm. So now's the time to meet up with the vendors one-on-one, and you have 15 minutes of their time.
Yeah. Now's the critical time when people are deciding from an organization who's going and what purpose they've got and things like that. What, in your view, should they be already thinking about? Sue, I'll come to you again.
All right. Yay. Well, I think it's really important that they have clear goals. Before they step onto the show floor, there's over 1,000 industry partners there. It's very overwhelming. The first time you go, it's very overwhelming. So I think they really need to have clear goals. This is what we're interested in. And I think taking it to the next step, not just having the clear goals, but reaching out and to the vendors that they want to talk to and scheduling the meetings in advance, so that they've got an organized strategy for getting through the show. Because as we all know, because we've been there many times, it is so huge and time just kind of evaporates. So you really need to have a good plan. And also, if you've got a group going, I would say a helpful thing is have one person kind of take the lead, and they're the one organizing, coordinating everything and keeping everybody on track, because the worst thing is you get behind and then you never catch up and you miss some of the key things that you said going in are important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good point. If you have 3, 4, 5 people from your organization going, you may not get all 3, 4, 5 in that particular session, but at least there's 2 or 3, and then the other 2 maybe have all intentions. But as we know from various NRFs, people tend to get overbooked and forget about the walking between the booths or the sessions. So, absolutely. And that's the other thing, is that you've got a balance between the exhibitor being, seeing the exhibitions versus the sessions. You can't just do all sessions. You need to be able to go to the exhibit booths, and that takes time depending on where the facility or where the booth layout is, or where the meeting is. Could be up
Yeah.
on the 4th floor, or it could be down in the basement. You just never know.
Yeah.
Proper planning.
What do you think, Joe?
I think, just come up with a plan, just don't walk the floor. I think some of the best insights can also come to Ken's point is just not the sessions, but your coffee breaks, your dinners, and those phenomenal stands where they have like unique food from across I guess New York, there's meatballs and chili and all that. So that's always a fun time for me as well.
Yeah, I think it's great. It's a great opportunity to obviously reconnect. We do because it's a gathering in one place. So, but I think you all nailed it. I think you have to plan. It's just
Yep.
so big that you can't just wander around and hope to find them. Even the biggest of the vendors at the show manage a complex calendar with meeting rooms and people to be in the right place at the right time. So, I would absolutely encourage everybody attending to jump onto calendars and book the time with people, because chances are you won't find them naturally unless you're outside queuing up for one of the food trucks, Joe, and you happen to bump into them in line.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about an interesting area of emerging technology. It's fascinating to see the emerging technology. We always talk about the buzzwords of the latest term that all of the vendors are using. I'd like to think a little bit beyond that. But what do you think is going to stand out on the floor this year? Let's go to Ken first this time around. What's going to stand out for you, Ken? Do you think?
I think that one will be an easy one. Like last year, everybody will call out AI in their presentation, all of the things that they're doing. But what you're going to see, I think, this year is they've had an extra year to plan, and they've had an extra year to think about things that are in the future where AI might kind of make a light bulb moment for that retailer, where they say, the practical part of this problem is now solved, and this company can help us through AI adoption.
Yeah.
So actually putting a good couple of use cases to AI is all what retailers want to see.
Absolutely. Joe, I'll come to you next. What do you think on the emerging tech?
I mean, I like the frictionless part of it, the checkouts, the use your own device, things of that nature. That's always good. One thing I really like what NRF's been doing though too is bringing in the food service piece of it as well. Last year they actually had robotics making people's fries, pizzas, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And for somebody that loves supporting that part of hospitality and restaurants as well, that's also an exciting thing to check out.
Yeah. What do you think, Sue?
I would say, in addition to what Ken and Joe said, predictive analytics, also personalized customer engagement, and still high on the list will be supply chain and optimizing the supply chain. So I think, as we talk to our customers, those are things that we hear about every day. So I think we'll see those as well.
So so what we covered so far is a heady mix of the things that you need to get covered while you're there, and taking in some of the emerging tech. The folks' time is going to be very full. I'll do the CRA plug here, which is we've done this a lot, and we've seen the growth of NRF over time. So if you're watching this and you're new to NRF and you want a little bit more of a guided experience, get in touch with us, and we can host you. We can absolutely be the guide to make sure you're pointed in the right direction to the right people, and make the most out of the show. So, okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the industry challenges. So quite often you come into the show because you're trying to overcome a challenge, and you're potentially looking for technology to help you overcome that challenge. So let's talk about the headwinds. What challenges will be front and center at NRF? And Joe, I'll come to you first on this one.
I mean, tariffs, more tariffs, right? I think the cost of doing business has gone up, and companies are looking for ways to mitigate those costs so they don't have to pass it on to the consumer. So I think looking at the solutions, not only from a back end perspective, front end perspective, where you can free up, limit the cost, but also free up your associates to get higher cart totals, right? Because when the consumers can interact with your great associates, typically they start buying more because they want to, they connect with them and they recommend things that make sense to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Sue, what do you think?
I would say, and this again, we hear a lot about this, but workforce management, labor challenges. I think those are areas where retailers are looking to do more with less, and some of those tools really can help them in that area. So I think we'll see a lot of that as well.
Good stuff. And Ken?
Anything about productivity improvement, right? People are doing a lot more with less people. So
Yeah.
how do you make up with that? Anything that could save the retailer time, save them from hiring another person.
Yeah.
There's an immediate ROI for that. So retailers have their senses up to what can make my associates, who they don't necessarily want them to do more with less. They want them to do less with more. So
Yeah.
if we can provide that information for retailers to then say, okay, I know what the business problem is, and here are the 5 vendors that can help get you on the way. That is what they're looking for, right? Set me in the right direction, give me a few vendors, and we can go out and help them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right with you all on this one. The challenges you touched on it around the optimization of people that are actually doing the work in the stores and around the logistics and that kind of thing. When we talked about on the last episode the returns logistics and things, we're turning stores into warehouse return centers, and we have to make it simple. So I'm sure retailers are going to be looking at all kinds of areas to make that efficient.
Yep. And Duncan, if I may, I think
Yep.
2 points that sort of tie together is the labor force, like the workforce, but also to Ken's point, right? What they can do to reduce headcount, but also from a workforce side, how can you train your current staff to get more out of them and make them feel more excited to come to work? Because we've all been there. I was a frontline manager. If your employees are happy, they're well trained, they feel like they're progressing, and you're helping them reach that next step, whether it's management or something outside the company, that's going to increase profits, cart sizes, and your MPS, your promoters are going to go out, which brings you in more customers. So we can't always just only look at this like, hey, what can we cut? What can we add to our current employees to make them better and lead to better sales?
Yeah, thanks, Joe. So, folks, the countdown is on to NRF, and many of the audience, including us, are now planning their logistics for actually getting there. So, once again, if you'd like to meet with us at NRF, please scan the QR code. We're on booth 5320, and we would love to meet up with you while we're there. And we are aiming to be doing some Cambridge Coffee Corner live at the event. So if you'd like to join us on a Cambridge Coffee Corner, bring your coffee mug. We'll supply the coffee. And we'd love to feature your perspective on all kinds of retail subjects. In the interim, to my colleagues on the show, thank you for joining us for coffee this morning.
See you all in New York.
See you in New York.